Today, we're going to be talking about going from invisible to invincible as a healer in 2026.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you. Today we're going to be talking about going from invisible to invincible as a healer in 2026. If you've been on this journey for a while doing Reiki and other modalities and feel like you haven't still got your healing business going and you really have been wanting to do that, this is definitely a must listen podcast for you, no doubt about it. I'm going because I've helped, hundreds, if not really thousands of healers to begin at least to start going from invisible to invincible as a healer over all these years, over what, 15 years. So 16 years going on 2026 or more. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you some of the keys to doing this after working with so many different healers that have been in this place. I know I started off myself as an invisible type of person. I was called Mr. Invisible in high school. And it is because I felt that I had something different to offer the world than what was showing up in my environment. And I was, introverted, empathic, shy, all those labels. Sure, I was all those things. But it was also just a sense of like, I'm different and I'm meant to be expressing myself in a different way. But I didn't really understand what that meant or what that was all about. I did know like that I had this sense of connection with all power. I would say, I've got this power. I've got this power. And I would imagine that I could, change things with just intending them. Change, lights changing at intersections or move objects or blow up objects or whatever may be the case. And I did play around with that stuff. I didn't usually see results that actually aligned with my intention at first. In fact, the only thing that I really remember I was, particularly good at was predicting things. I was good at that. I was definitely good at that. And I also started realizing I could channel energy through my body to do wonderful feats physically. I found that I could channel energy in that way. Some of the other stuff I didn't notice as much. Even if it was working, I didn't notice when it was working so much. So I was very invisible in terms of my attunement with the gifts that I had. I was totally unaware that it was even really an intuitive, a psychic gift that I had with the prediction and all that sort of stuff and knowing truths. Like there's no Santa Claus and I'm like four. Like going to church and realizing like, yeah, just immediately like, no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes. Like the sense of instant knowing on so many things. And really just, I think at some level, even though I kind of got that people were into this to be in the spiritual energy, I think another part of me is like, I can't believe that they're buying into some of the stuff they're talking about at church. Uh, and of course, there's a lot of great things with, I was in a Lutheran church, so a lot of traditional Christian type of teachings. And so when they're talking about certain things, I just would roll my eyes at some level from a pretty young age, pretty young age. So, yes, and then I was a truth teller. I would tell my parents eventually when I got a little more bold, like I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that, and they always called me the contrarian. To this day, my mom even says it sometimes that I see other viewpoints. I don't see it the way everybody else sees it necessarily, right? So anyway, so I in this path, like I got roundly persecuted. I want to say, in my life, told things like, you don't belong here. You did this wrong, that wrong. Like often hadn't done nothing. I was accused of stealing money at a place where I absolutely didn't steal any money that I was working at. Like there's always an accusation. There's always a little persecution or a big one coming my way. The big one was more at my master's program and good you're not good at this, you're not good at that, like different deficiencies that I felt I had. And when everybody else in the class is like, they're railroading you, they just don't like you. Like the other people like believe that too. Like it wasn't just like my perception. Everybody says, "Yeah, watch it with these professors, or you'll be Hannemanized." Like, and so hi there. If one of my past professors ever listens in to all these, I've told these stories many, many times. So, but they did acknowledge I was able to tune into people and were pretty astonished. It seemed like them and my the students were pretty it was remarkable to them what I was able to do with tuning into people and assessing others. It was a remarkable skill that I had, and and be studying to be a therapist, basically getting my master's in clinical psychology, and to be told by one of them because I asked for it, but I says, "Well, do you think I could actually still be a therapist after all the things you're saying about me?" Well, I don't know, not maybe not, but you're really good at assessment. Maybe you could find a job doing that. Like, it was pretty, like, actually gave me motivation, actually lit my fire inside for when the time came for me to really break free. Because it was more after I graduated. There's my first job told you don't fit in. Like, there's no other reason given for why I was not going to be employed at that first job I went to. Then everything seemed to gel. Then I got into the right jobs with the right people doing the right things, working with the chronically mentally ill, using my spiritual ability just to see people as they really are rather than just all the diagnostic stuff. And then everything started to accelerate. Got into metaphysics and I started utilizing that to better my mental health and using meditation, etc. And anyway, so I started coming out of the closet by actually like sharing my gifts with people at those deeper levels at my church. I was doing, I sometimes, there's a couple of times the cases I know I was doing not only the prayer work that we were taught to do, affirmative prayer, like a channeled kind of prayer, really for me. But also I was taught indirectly by watching others do it, like how to do energy healing. And I started doing energy healing for people. People, sometimes, I didn't hear about a result maybe right away, but other people that come back, they'd be like, yeah, the condition's gone, whatever it was between the prayer and then also like the energy work, like things that have been lasting a very long time with lots of different treatments for years and years, gone. And with one single round, one single healing. And so, being witness to that helped me realize I can have confidence in the healing ability I have. And the more I also when I got the energy scan technique, which is a whole nother story, but like when I learned how to harness and focus my intuitive and psychic gifts, I started realizing how much I had going on with being connected with the all in all. And I realized other people could do it. I taught other people, and like hundreds of people have done my training now, my energy scan training. So it's all part of the thing. You got to have something to offer. Okay. So in your own journey, you have to realize, no, you're not the norm. You're meant to do something else. You're meant to stand out in new ways. Maybe you have fit in. Maybe you did sort of fit in, but you never felt like you fit in. So now it's time to break the mold. You're supposed to just be who you are. Key number one. I mean, just be who you are. Either it resonates or it doesn't. And I've continued to have to come back to that truth. The minute I think I've got to dial it in, I don't care anymore. All of a sudden, it could take years, but all of a sudden, I'm finding I'm doing weird things again. I'm doing things that aren't like me, that aren't me, you know? And so it's something that we're constantly needing to shake because there's so much impressions, conditioning, judgments that can come our way. And then we judge ourselves, which is the ultimate judgment, right? It's the truest judgment is we're judging ourselves, we're evaluating ourselves negatively, and then we shut our parts of ourselves down, right? So it's to stop suppressing yourself, stop suppressing the intuitive and psychic and healing gifts you've got, share them with the world, make a commitment to it in 2026 or whatever year it might be you're listening to this. Let's go. So it's a commitment to show up. It's a commitment to show up with your gifts. And for most of you, you don't have the confidence in your gifts yet. Some of you do, and that's not the main thing. It's more the marketing and sales. Okay, got it. Right. But then there's other of you don't have the confidence in your gifts, especially your intuitive and psychic gifts. You might trust your healing gifts some, but not maybe the intuitive and psychic stuff so much. That's where energy scan training comes in. So that's why, as part of the invisible to invincible path, I teach how to do energy scanning, how to use the technique, how to drill into people's energy, see what's going on, to tune into them, see what's going on, to do a diagnostic, like so many doctors and dentists and this and that, and all these other fields, chiropractors, they all have ways of assessing. What does a healer do? They say, "Oh, you got a condition. Let me send you some Reiki, and we'll clear it," which does work, can work, but you're not fully evaluating what's going on with them either, in most cases. So let's start utilizing these gifts and abilities. Let's start acting like we are who we are. We're infinite beings, infinite intelligence, infinite love. And we can share that and we can thrive invincibly when we are willing to become awake and stay awake. It's a process of becoming awake and staying awake to the truth of who you are and turning that energy on inside of yourself. So that gets into energy and mindset. You have to have the right energy and mindset to be an invincible healer versus an invisible healer. But you don't understand. I don't know. I've been burned at the stake. Yeah, I understand because every healer I've ever scanned practically has persecution energy or been hurt or killed in a past life. So for being a healer, being a way shower, being a truth teller, right? So the time has come for it to come to an end. There is no other power. You are the power. You have the abilities. You have the ability to be confident. When you trust yourself and you start being confident before the demonstration shows up, that's true confidence. It's not after seeing the results again and again. Now, oh, okay, based on the conditions and the manifestations, now I have confidence. The confidence comes first. And I know like it often doesn't, and it often goes the other way. I get that. I'm not silly. I want to say stupid. I get it. But I'm saying you can have confidence before you have so-called confidence in the other way. You can have total confidence. And why would you have total confidence? Because I'm reminding you of who you are. Your infinite intelligence, your infinite power. And when you start trusting it, you'll see miracles. You'll see new things happening in your life, your business. And as a healer, right away, you'll start seeing new things from that confidence. Well, I just don't have the confidence. BS, you do. It lives inside you. I don't believe you. You have confidence. You're not willing to just be confident. It's just a willingness. You have to be willing to be confident. How can you be confident? Is it about you? No, it's about the infinite force that's within you. If it helps you to connect to that infinite power by through your guides, etc., fine. Start there if you need to. Okay, Jesus is with me. That's why I have confidence. Jesus will do the healings. My guides will do the healings. The angels will do the healings. I don't care. But have confidence, have faith, or the forces of the infinite and all their permutations they may come in, I will not come to bear unless you start having confidence and faith and belief in it. So you have to increase your mindset and your mindset. Yeah, it's not well. They say energy. All these sayings, right? Energy first, then mindset. I've probably even said such things just because there's some truth to it. You do want to. You got to turn on your energy, yes, but from the energy, your mindset starts to change, right? There is truth to it, but mindset changes also changes energy, right? So just shifting your mind is enough sometimes. Begin to open up that energy. We want to work all sides. We want to work with your energetic side and working with the chakras and doing clearings and activations. Then we want to work on asking higher quality questions about things, doing limiting a false belief work. We want to just have a stronger, container we're building for something like higher visions, higher aspirations. I don't know. Can I make 5 grand a month? Can I make 10 grand a month? Can I make, whatever? Um, or is it like, wow, I have a game-changing, vision for what I could be serving and moving into that and then creating all these different things along the way. Okay, well, what's my first step to doing it? Well, maybe part of it is to take a simple step like going to 5 or 10,000 or 15, 20,000 per month in your business or something like that, right? Is to start stepping into or just having paid clients, just have some paid clients and then build that up. Get momentum, keep momentum, and keep growing momentum. Period. Like that is the way to become invincible. And the only way you become very invincible again is when you start buying into false beliefs, judgments you put on yourself. How do I know this so well? Because I've done it to myself. I have, and I've broken through, you know, again and again. And I have gotten stuck at times in my life, for sure, for years. I mean, earlier in my life, for decades, with false beliefs that hamper my life very significantly, not just a little bit, right? Depression, anxiety, thoughts of not wanting to be here, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff. So there's nothing wrong with you. You're absolutely perfect and whole as you are. Realizing that, start showing up, acting like you are that. If you still have any confidence issues with your energy healings, then take that next course, I guess, if you need to. You don't really need them all. I can teach you in 5 or 10 minutes how to do energy healing, and you could be a master healer with it. Honestly, all this idea, there's more, it's more complex. No, it's not always more complex. There are more things you could do. There is other ways to access energies. There's things you could learn, but you can do so much with such little techniques. All you need is your faith. All you need is your faith. All you need is the belief. All you need, and from that place, your energy rises. What's possible rises up inside of you, and you become invincible in doing your healing work. But the other way I'm talking about becoming invincible is showing up, offer something. That's why I love energy scans. Offer people energy scans. Get a taste of the divine that flows through your channel and then assess what's going on. Wow, it looks like you could use help in this area. Your throat chakra is closed down, but yet you want to be a speaker. Let's address that. Looks like you want to be more intuitive and psychic, but your third eye energy is kind of gunked up. Doesn't stop your gift, but maybe if we work on it, it'll accelerate least possible faster. You know, you can so many things you can pick up on. I talk about these things even on my podcast. I've talked about some of the things that often are picked up on during energy scans. So check out those episodes. You can check out Energy Scan Secrets. Probably have one of those coming up again whenever you're listening to this. And check out, some of the calls I've got coming up where I do energy scans and or demonstrate different things around you doing energy scanning. You could be doing energy scanning. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today. And offering them to others. And until we start doing this as the norm and get the heck off our phones and get off of the chat GPTs and everything and start looking at those like little tiny tools that can, be very, very helpful maybe at times, but you to use them more sparingly for some of you at least. Some of you may need to embrace a little bit of it, and we're not going to get there. You're giving all your power away to this stuff. Let me watch another reel. Let me watch take another training. What other ways can distract them with entertainment is what they say, the people in charge, right? So to speak, the so-called people in charge. Let's entertain the heck out of them. Let's give them comfort. Let's numb them. Let's dumb them. Let's make them not believe they are who they are. Okay? Believe who you are is true. All right? We have to wake up. It's urgent now. It's not, I cannot wait any longer. Clear out the belief systems, especially if you want to be invincible in a healing business. You got to clear out those limiting money beliefs. Whatever they are. I don't want to pay taxes was one of my, I had to clear that belief. I've had to re-clear that belief sometimes because sometimes it's like I find oh wow, it's still kind of there, maybe I better clear that one out again. Because you're probably going to pay some taxes if you make more money. Unless, most people don't have the belief level to rise above and be able to have both, quite honestly. So it's doable, right? Like, oh, somehow I make a lot of money, somehow I'm not paying taxes. Okay. All right. But the fear of paying taxes, we definitely have to clear the fear around it. Otherwise, you'll still attract it, so to speak. You'll manifest it. So we have to clear out those money blocks. And so I recommend things like the Byron Katie method, right? The one belief at a time worksheet, if you've heard me talk about it before. Maybe we'll put a link in the show notes or just look it up. One Belief at a Time worksheet, Byron Katie, Byron Katie, Katie. Look her up and get to work. Get to work. I think, that's the new affirmation for light workers. Stop waiting for the ascension and get down to the brass tacks of the work you need to do while we also do all the other stuff. Yes, we're ascending, we're going higher in vibrations, we're doing all kinds of wild and freaky things and, in the energetics that are raising us up. Great. Great. I'm all for it. I like it. And we better get down to the brass tacks. You better embrace the 4D. You better embrace the 3D. Because if you don't, you will be taken out as far as like being able to do your other higher vibrational stuff. Oh, looks like you're not fully in your body. We'll step in there, an energy entity says. Or somebody's going to tell you, like I'm seeing signs of it already. Technology actually increases your healing power and intuition. We can help you. And the technology might show up as something outside of yourself at first. Before you know it, they're going to want to implant it inside you, right? We all know it's coming. It's already here practically. It's going to be up to you to decide if you want to go down that route. And you probably can tell where I stand on that. So we have to stand on our infinite power. We cannot rely on these things that could actually almost temporarily, at least, like really create more suffering, really create more hijacking of who we actually really are, the sacredness of who we are, the power of who we truly are. Infinite power. Does infinite power look like we need chips in our head? I don't know. I don't know. It's just a question for right now, okay? So the other thing, brass tacks is around developing offers. You got to have offers. You got to have a good offer. You got to have a good offer to make people something that aligns to give them the results that they're really looking for. Something that like gets your energy mojo going, that just gets you so excited. If you can't get excited and energized by making an offer, then it's the wrong offer. It's the wrong offer. Stop, and I've been guilty of it too. Stop trotting out offers just to make one because you think you need to. For those of you who've been at this a while. For the rest of you, same thing, basically. But for you, probably as beginners, like you just need to make an offer. Get over it. Just make an offer. Offer one-to-one sessions at any price. Get going. Get something started. You got to have some paid clients before you can, have more clients, that type of philosophy. Some of you do need to do that. You're not going to be ready to go to the highest heights of programs and charging and everything overnight. You're just not going to feel aligned with it. You're not going to be able to pull it off. You could, but most of you aren't going to allow that to happen. So you have to build some confidence and momentum, make smaller offers, smaller little invitations, see that it works, really gain that confidence. Hopefully, have gain more confidence from not needing results first, um, trusting yourself more first. I do recommend that, but some of you need a certain amount of confirmation in order to really trust it more. But rapidly get more confirmation, rapidly trust yourself more. Set an intention. I mean, for those of you that really want to rock, yeah, go to $10,000 or more per month. Something as a starting place. What if you just start at that? Like, that's my starting place. If you have a bigger vision, you flesh out a big vision for where you could be going, even if just a possibility. It doesn't have to be what you actually end up doing necessarily, but like fleshing out a bigger vision. Where am I going? Where's my soul being guided? Because it's always something far bigger than what's going to want to happen over these next 12 months, whether it's 2026 or some other time. What is it? What's the bigger vision you're moving into? Therefore, wow. And then, like the last video I did, like I think the very last video we released probably will have been, you're bigger than 100K. You're bigger than that. So just realizing from that mindset again, you're bigger than that. So you're bigger than the 10K per month or the 100K per year or whatever it may be. or put in a different number if those don't seem like a big deal to you. I don't care. But whatever it is, like getting past the idea that this is any big deal for an infinite being. Everything operates at the speed of trust. We've heard that from, I believe, the guy that did the seven highly, Stephen Covey, right? Um, I think it was one of his follow-up books. Anyway, I remember that. Everything operates at the speed of trust. So the faster you trust, the faster things are going to work. You just willy-nilly trust everything? Heck no. You got to trust your intuition. Here, for those who are watching on video, this rock right here. Got it right here for a reason on my desk to keep strengthening that trust. The faster I trust what's true for me and act on it and get all over it, the faster I experience blessings in my life. Trust faster, trust faster, and encourage other people to trust faster. It is proven, like people that study successful people, like the vast majority of successful people financially, let's say, okay, especially financially, as far as what's been studied, like they make decisions quick and they don't change their mind, keep changing their mind. They make quick decisions. Well, I don't like quick decisions and being so clear because then I can't just kind of, float around, do whatever I want. Like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, your freedom is actually in the commitment. You've heard this a million times. It's in a commitment. Your dedication to source, your dedication to healing, your dedication to have a successful healing business. It can be fun. It can be easy. I know I'm talking a little drill sergeant-ish for my, oh, you might hear me at other times, but I'm telling you, like, it's urgent now. Guys, right? I need to light some matches or something. Like whatever it takes, right? We've got to step up. This is why I've been so passionate helping healers. Healer types are the types that are so empathic, so connected. We can make a huge difference with our gifts. Big difference in the consciousness. Alleviate so much unnecessary suffering. Keep millions upon millions of people from making decisions and choices that are just going to imprison them or have them suffer unnecessarily. Even if it doesn't matter what you believe about the future, they're going to suffer if you don't show up. You're going to suffer more if you don't show up. So it's really an easy decision. Well, I might suffer because I suffered in the past for showing up, but you didn't show up fully, and it was a whole different timeline. We're in a whole different stage of evolution of consciousness. Evolution of consciousness now says, come on, it's time. It's ding, 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 right? It's time. Now is the time. And yes, okay, the idea of having like a delineated marketing plan. Yes, sure, absolutely, absolutely. But if you haven't been making offers, you haven't had any paid clients, your big strategy is to start asking people to receive something like a consult or an energy scan, and you make an offer and you get paid clients. And you just keep repeating. And then when you're like, man, this isn't really producing as much as it could be, maybe I need to create some kind of marketing system here. But just talking to people, just making offers like a consultation or an energy scan or something like that for free to start with, because people will feel like so grateful that you gave them something of value for free. It'll compel them more to want to work with you more. Whereas if they pay something for the reading, then there's first of all, they're less likely to do it. Second of all, I paid you some money, I got some value, I'm done, right? So that's what I've noticed, at least after a long time doing this. So yes, we can come up with all kinds of amazing marketing plans, but just post, baby. Like, I think about a guy like Gary Vee. But he's in like people like that, like whoever your favorite marketer guy is. Okay, if you got a marketer guy and you listen to, I love them. I love them. I think what they're saying is got a lot of truth to it. But and Gary Vee consults like major corporations. I know he'll scream from the rooftops. You idiots, post every day and as much as possible. What do you understand about free, for example? Just to use him as an example. And he's making all this money. He's obviously the proof it works, right? He's the proof it works. It's how he grew. He grew out, we're talking about wine, right? Dedicated his whole force to it. He just committed. That's what made it work. It's not that he was posting. Lots of people post. That's not what makes it work. What makes it work is your energy. It's your energy. And it's not a secret. It's something that's been talked about for a long time. But somehow a lot of us forget it. Forget it. Like perpetually forget about it. We're like, yeah, like even every day you might say, yeah, it's all about my energy. Am I feeling good? Huh? Am I feeling comfortable? Yeah, okay, it's all about my energy. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So probably good things will happen. Yeah, okay, no. You have to feel very uncomfortable at times, but it's like moving in this sense of like this is supposed to be happening. I'm meant to go in this direction. I'm scared. I'm terrorized by this or terrified by this. I don't I can't even do it. And then you do it anyway. And then you break through a false limit or belief. You can do the belief work in advance too, but you still have to take the action, whether you feel the fear still or not. They say feel the fear and do it anyway. Some of these old things. That's why I'm so much about the 40 stuff. The things are labeled 40. Yeah, I'm all for that because so many people are not mastering that level. And so listen to who you want, but like if you don't master the 40, you're not going to make full use of the 5D and beyond. You know? Oh, 4D is irrelevant now. Like we're just 5D and beyond. Yeah, right. 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 I mean, this is coming from somebody who's done a lot of meditation, experienced all the whoa, I'm in samadhi, I'm in a big energy and everything. Yeah, but yes, when you're in those higher vibrations, there's nothing else that seems needed. Doesn't occur to you like 4D is even a thing, right? That's why so many people are riding that train. They get in a higher energy, like there's nothing else needed. 5D and above at least, and it's like, yeah, well, guess what? You still need to work the ground of everything else, no matter what level you're at. And the people that don't are just, I'm all 5D and beyond. Most of them are just not really seeing the results they want in their businesses, is what it comes down to. Is there an exception? Maybe, right? There could be an exception. I'm a big fan of studying exceptions, but we don't have time to just contemplate our navel all day and wonder what's going to work. We know what works. You got to tune in. You got to come to spiritual rocks our way, like, so obviously I'm all about the higher dimensional energy and channeling energy. I do all that. But we also have to employ some of the basic stuff, getting our mindset and our energy on board the 4D way as well. And if you transcend all that by chance, because that's where you're headed, great. But in the meantime, you have a priority to grow a business because it's calling to you. So you want to answer that call. And then we'll see what wants to happen. Let's see what wants to happen. Deepen in your meditation. Start trusting your gifts more. Channel energy. Watch your frequency rise. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It is a wonderful thing. We want to feel the ease and the lightness. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Let's live heaven on earth, like I talk about. Right? I've talked about it here on this podcast. Much lighter tones of energy. Yeah, absolutely. All that's available to us. But where you're feeling challenged, where you're feeling like you want to hide, sometimes the path of the 4D is your answer, big time. And that's what I'm encouraging healers to do. Step into your power, the 4D way and the 5D way, right? All of it. But so often people are neglecting that felt power, that willpower, which when you start tipping into it and working with it, will elevate you ultimately in a embodied way where it will shift over time and it will be a greater force that's flowing through you where it will feel different qualitatively as you grow. And that's what I know from my own experiences and from what I've seen. Scanning lots of people and just being around for a while, right? Okay. So there you go. You've got some keys the key in for the new year. What are you called? Doesn't I could give you hello. Okay, here's the grocery list again, and we could go back over it. I could. I'd rather just ask you whatever resonated today. Decide you're going to start doing that. If it's like everything, do it all. Keep listening to this podcast. If it's just one or two things, great. Let me know what it is. Maybe if you want to, go ahead. I'd love to hear it. Do it now. Affirm it. Let the whole world know. Put it in the comments. Oh, healer, I'm going to thrive. And, I'm doing this. I'm doing that in the new year. Okay. And I'd look forward to supporting you in it through you listening to this podcast again and again, through all the whatever you're drawn to. But listen again and again if you're feeling empowered by this. Yes, I bring other tones on other shows, right? We're going to bring you energy healing, or we're going to bring you channeling. We're going to bring you meditations. As I've already done basically all those things on other shows, we're going to go to those places again and again too. I'm bringing more fire and steel into going into 2026. It's time for things to change. Let's do it. And let's do it together. Let's band together. Let's all make the decision together. Imagine millions of healers, types, or billions even, millions of us at a minimum, infinite angels flowing around through us, all banding together to say yes to a higher consciousness, a higher frequency, a higher level of empowerment, not hiding, showing up visibly in our strength in a felt way, and finding the whimsical flow within it all as well. The full-fledged you. Go from invisible to invincible as a healer in 2026. Let's do it. All right. Grateful to have shared with you, everybody. Again, I look forward to hearing your comments. Like, share, subscribe, all this stuff. I'm looking forward to being with you in 2026 and beyond. And like I always say, keep on tuning in and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.